basis. I was married to an abusive husband, and have been on my own still, even though, right? So a lot of history of trauma, in addition to being AuDHD and autism, and dyspraxia, which makes driving through the mountains while I'm talking on a video probably extra dangerous. So I have like a whole laundry list of stuff, but that doesn't make me unique, honestly, because there are a lot of people with a laundry list of stuff. way that means that you aren't just surviving, but thriving, actually benefits the community. And that as each person in the community leans into the act of achieving balance and wholeness inside of themselves, that we benefit the whole, that we benefit the community. And I think that we're able to do that no matter what our situation. So I'm revisiting the Book of Joy, which is basically a story, it's real, about Archbishop Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama coming together for the Dalai Lama's birthday in Dharamsala, India. And it is about, just like the title says, joy. And I do believe that happiness is a feeling, just like sadness, desperation, fear, anger. All of these are emotions, and they are fleeting. And I hope that I don't ever lean into toxic positivity. I don't ignore my emotions. What I do is invite those emotions in like I would a guest, is, when there is the air of positivity surrounding my presence, I feel good. I feel good when people feel good about seeing me. And even though I'm not an intimate part of these people's lives, I am part of their lives, and I am bringing joy to their lives. Yes, occasionally it does make me feel lonely and isolated and not be seen. I also feel like not truly seen, but because I've built my toolbox, I'm able to fulfill myself. And I think that if you are an INFJ, a highly sensitive person, a neurodivergent person, a high masking, low support needs, AuDHD person, I think that there are ways to fulfill your own needs. And that it's really important to find ways to fulfill your own needs. And if community is something that you feel like you need, that you don't actively have to be part of a community to, intimately be part of a community to participate in the community. And just a little tidbit, stop reading the comments on Instagram, YouTube, X, whatever. Stop reading those comments. God, it is so bad for your mental health. I'm gonna go ahead and try to finish up here. 200. Okay, sorry. 109. This is crazy. This toll is insane. I'm not even crossing to another state. I'm inside of the same state. It's crazy amount for a toll. But also keep in mind that what you focus on, you really do draw to you. And so the more you follow negative content, you follow the negative news and all that kind of stuff, the more you're drawing that to you. And I definitely saw that as I leaned into these communities. And there's just a lot of, personally, I felt like a lot of negativity, a lot of trauma dumping, just a lot of negativity. And me personally, and I think if you're watching this, you're probably also highly sensitive, especially, if you're neurodivergent. There's just no positivity in that, and that's not healthy for you. And personally, it didn't make me feel more part of the community. I just felt more isolated. And I think it's worse to feel isolated, surrounded by people, honestly. Hola, buenos días. ¿Es correcto? Gracias. So that is again an example of how I interact with people here. And honestly, when I'm not feeling it, it's a lot. It can be. But at the end of the day, I do my best not to resent it, because hopefully my smile and my energy brought something to him. And yeah. So anyways, saying all of this to say, I've left all